Newbee's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. Newbee's turn to pick.
Crystal Maiden.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Clockwork. Shadow Fiend.
Newbee's turn to pick.
What? That's it. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing, man. Let me tell you. But
10 seconds remaining.
didn't you guys lose to the to the Jamaican hockey team
5
previously?
seconds remaining.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Hockey's interesting, but here we go. Clockwork
Reserve
Shadow
time.
Fiend, the opener for Fnatic. Bye bye, Trent. Thank you. Go pork a hockey stick, buddy.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Dude, we have asked a couple people though, like about the combinations, like Draskell and Shane was like, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's fine. I think it's a cool hero interaction. And I was like, I think there's cooler hero
Fnatic's
interactions, and I would
turn
rather
to
it be
ban.
not like weird with the cogs. Right.
Ten seconds remaining.
Right.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's fine. I don't like having black and white, thoughts on certain
Fnatic
issues.
Well,
and just being another one.
The thing is, I think if you look at the numbers, right, it's not really that game breaking. It's not like, oh, Shadow Fiend Clockwork insta win. Shadow Fiend has some 65% win rate. It's kind of marginal. You rotate once and kill him, and it kind of gets rid of it. So
Newbee's
yes, it
turn
makes
to
Shadow
ban.
Fiend relevant right now. It allows him to come in with a really strong presence. I think it's a dumb mechanic, but I don't think it's overwhelmingly game breaking.
And you can also just pick another strong laner, like we talked about Razor.
Yes.
This is one of those situations where Razor would be good. Viper's probably fine in terms of being a strong laner. There's OG
10
obviously,
seconds
but
remaining.
I agree with you. It's not game breaking. It's something.
5
Again, the reason
seconds
why I don't like
remaining.
it, and I'll stop talking about this, is that it feels like a dated mechanic from like Warcraft 3 or a bug or
Reserve
something.
time.
That's the only reason I'm not like 100% into it.
Fnatic's
Very true.
turn
Yeah,
to
good
pick.
point. But some of them are endearing.
Damn, Mott. There are some purists out there that are hating on you so hard right now. Like, what are you trying to say about Warcraft 3, bro? It might be the greatest game ever made.
I mean, I
Newbee's
Gadgets.
turn to pick.
all right, and I'm not saying. First of all, I love Warcraft 3. Nobody played. Well, I don't want to say I played the most. Warcraft 3.
Nobody played more than me.
No, I played a lot though.
Oh my.
I did play my fair share of Warcraft 3, so
I like you.
I like you too, Andrew. Thanks, buddy.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Juggernaut.
Ugh. Oh boy, let's go.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay,
Here-
so Newbee probably looking at a carry here. It's going to be the Juggernaut for them. So CM Jug once more. Did not work for them last game, but they're going to try to have another go here.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm excited for it, man. It's like when I saw Viper bands, like when Complexity's playing, it's the same thing.
Reserve time. Newbee's
Just
turn to
dumb.
pick.
I mean, that's fine. Again,
It's not the greatest mechanic. I'll agree with you.
I like seeing things that aren't usually seen. I'm into that sort of thing.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Right. That cannot be fun. That's a
Reserve
very
time.
good point, actually. But Fnatic will grab Abaddon. That's going to be
Big bad Abaddon.
So probably offlane Abaddon then? Clockwork in the
It's,
support position, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Abaddon, Clockwork,
Lena.
Abaddon, Shadow Fiend. Very nice pairings. Clock likes to jump in the front
Fnatic's
lines. Now you've got some
turn to bat.
sustainability, extra damage with the Aphotic Shield. Allow him to find kills, so that can be very nice. And same with Shadow Fiend. You know, he takes a lot of damage. Abba can help, but here you go. The laser beam. It's Lena, and she's got the phasers that can blast down the Abaddon before that
10
stupid
seconds
ult
remaining.
even. So
Phasers, I like it.
good pick. Lasers, phasers,
5
blazers, all
seconds
kinds of
remaining.
asers. And also good against Shadow Fiend. Pretty good lane dominator. Can burst him down. You know,
Reserve
rotation from
time.
Nyx. A lot of kill potential. So it's a good pick. Also, great to have with a Crystal Maiden,
Newbee's
right? That's
turn
all the
to
more
bat.
Dragon Slaves, all the more Light Strike Arrays.
The sister combination.
Yes.
The Lord.
Yes, they're pretty.
They are.
That's one way to counter Shadow Fiend's ugly bug. Pick pretty women.
Pretty girls. Okay, I'm into it. All right.
10 seconds
Last
remaining.
Newbee band coming out here. They've
5
Really?
seconds remaining.
why?
Going Bat Rider.
Newbee's turn to pick.
They need a. All right. Ah. Yes, exactly.
Well done, Suns fan.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's a tough last choice for Fnatic. They're going to need a safe laner.
Next core?
Reserve time.
You think so? Nyx 4, yes, that's what I was. Yes, absolutely. I agree
I would
with
have
you.
thought maybe Life
Yeah.
Stealer.
Offlaner.
For Fnatic, I think
What is available? Is Legion available?
they could take Slark.
You can go Legion again, but it's like Fnatic is almost baiting them into this pick for the offlaner. Sorry, I know you're talking about Fnatic in the safe lane, but for Newbee's last pick, it is their offlaner. You could do, theoretically, the Nyx offlane, but I highly doubt it's going to be the case. Tide is still available. That's something Newbee do a lot. So we saw Legion last game for KP. Could be Tide this game if you want to go for some more of that team fight.
I like the Tide.
I'm into it, but
Again, great with CM.
I have a feeling it might not be that hero.
They could take something like the Bristleback. Huh?
Yeah. It's
The-
usually
the
put more in one
Bristler?
position now, but I could still see it being okay in the
With
offlane.
CM, dude, you get that extra jazz going on. Nyx Bristle. I like it. They might not like it, but I do.
All right, 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of time left on reserve. I'm still more preoccupied with the perfect pick for Fnatic. They need a safe laner. I still think Slark is an option, someone that can kind of pick on Lena. Maybe not amazing against Jug. They could do something crazy like Morphling. You know, split up the map.
Yeah, Razor's good against Jug. If you want to throw it in the safe lane.
Tide
We also
How
saw,
dare
and there's the Tide Hunter.
Hey!
Yeah, I mean, it's just a hero that
Fnatic's
KP likes
turn
to
to
play.
pick.
And going to Fnatic now, we did see them run the SF in the safe lane before. So if they want to pick something for mid for QO, like a Razor, that could work out well. It is still available. Obviously, Bloodseeker's not. I don't think PL would be particularly
10
good here
seconds remaining.
in this situation, even though they played it yesterday against the Invoker.
5 seconds remaining.
Not as bad as maybe Bat Rider, but
Reserve
still,
time.
I think pretty hard. I don't know.
It's a little bit less crippling. You know, like Bat Rider gets completely shut down. The Ember still has ways to get in and out of the fight, so I think it's not quite as bad.
Damn, they have like all of their reserve time right now for this pick. There are still heroes available. TA, as Annie is whispering to me from this side.
Safe lane TA, it's a little strange.
Well,
but
if
it's
they,
possible.
yeah, I mean,
Safe
well,
lane SF.
assuming the SF is going to go safe lane again, but I think that the only reason they did that was. All right. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in reserve time. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
That's pretty sick. It is the QOPA. We're going back. We're going back to TI6, folks. Oh.
Yeah. A little bit unconventional, but classic for QO, right? It fits the style. Definitely very high tempo also. Again, I think it complements nicely with the Abaddon. Abaddon and Crystal Maiden are two of those heroes that you
10
can pretty
seconds
much say
remaining.
pair nicely with everyone, but some more than others. And anybody that likes
5
to jump in, as
seconds remaining.
PA often does, Nice to have like an Aphotic shield there to back you up. It's going to be Ohio grabbing the Abaddon and Febby on the Clockwork. So it looks like some farm priority going towards the old, what is he, the Lord of Avernus there? Avernus. Avernus. We'll call it, son. Who's taking it? Game 2. I don't know, man. Fnatic are in an okay spot here, and if they take this, of course, it will be 2-0, and NewB will be knocked out. I think what most people consider an upset. I'm actually going to go on Fnatic here. I think they've got the right picks. I think this QOPA is that cherry on top. Take a win here. Okay. Great. All right, good. Here we go. We've got Annie and Purge once again for game number 2 of this bo3
Prepare
series.
for battle.
Thank you very much, Sayori. Like you mentioned, all down to this. It's Newbee's tournament life hanging in the balance. Fnatic looking to score themselves the first spot in the grand finals. Purge, what do you make of the draft?
The whole out of him for a very long time. I think it could actually be quite good this game. Madden. But on the other side of the map, Noob has a ton of disables. Like, even though they have aphotic shield, it might be kind of hard to get damage on.
Yeah, I mean, what are the timings of these two drafts going to look like? Who wants to get active? When are the first rotations going to be
30
happening?
seconds to battle.
Rotations are always going to happen game. Twice tied until 6, maybe use that for Fnatic side with Clockwork moving.
Speaking of our friend Rubik, it's not looking too good for him. He gets off the telekinesis now. Gonna be smashing him back into face, so Crystal Maiden chugging after him. Oh man, DJ gonna take one for the team here. They do have that second frostbite, and it will be Fate scoring up the first blood, so CM gonna be grabbing herself some boots early on if she wants.
It was a really good dodge at least.
Say hi to Tango for me. Now, Shadow Fiend starting out with the 12 souls again, just one of the perks of having Clockwork on your team. And I mean, how effective is the Shadow Fiend safe lane as opposed to the mid? I've seen it a couple of times, but it has fizzled every time I've seen it.
Not what you expected.
Oh, well, Fergie, global silence there,
Got
but
her.
either way. Hi.
Had to move my dog to a different room. Quirky.
It's okay.
Sorry, Mr. Sens.
It's alright. Ajit starting out in the safe lane with those 12 souls. I mean, how's he going to be playing differently than if he had to go solo up the mid lane?
Well, it's really weird to put Shadow Fiend in the safe lane. You don't have as much mana. You don't have bottles, runes to grab as often, and you can't really spam Shadow Rays because it pushes the lane that too much in the early game. But on the bright side, it's very good in a 1v1 against Tidehunter, or at least against Tidehunter, whereas a PA against Tide is just awful, because PA has really bad damage output in the early game. And if you're in melee against Tide, he's going to reduce your damage, he's going to crack and shell a lot of it, where Shadow Fiend already offsets all of that because he has so much plus damage right now. So he can basically get souls as fast as he wants to, and as long as he doesn't get pressured too much, then he's going to have a really easy lane here.
I mean, already starting out in terms of last hits, got himself 4 of them. Our last hit leader so far going to be the PA, just farming up with that dagger. I mean, QO, it's a high boomer bust hero. Potentially some serious early damage coming out of PA if she actually goes for the jump at level 4 or 5, but once her crit comes out, my god.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous, especially because Lina has very low armor early. He's going to take quite a bit of damage, though. He's got evasion, obviously, with Blur, but he still does have to worry about the Lina nukes getting him low. Okay, matchup. Maybe roaming will make a big difference. Ooh, it is runes. They'd love to get that to Clockwork to set up a potential PA kill here. But it's going to be spotted by the Observer Ward, so they may not be able to get something out of this.
We'll see how safe SCCC is going to play. Letting that salve go up, it will be clipped down by the dagger now. Febby, again, waiting in the wings, trying to see if that Lina does end up pushing out. Ooh, jeez. KP goes down up top. 3 here, just get on top of him. Or rather, KP gets the kill on Ajit. DJ just has to stand there and watch.
It's a problem with SF. Like, if you're in the safe lane, you only have 1 armor. Pretty good. He's already got boots of speed. All it takes is Gush and 2 other disables, and you're pretty much dead on Shadow Fiend every time because you cannot stop them from.
Well, speaking of running at you, looks like Faith might be in some trouble. Gonna get trapped in the cogs here. Clockwork gonna put that invis rune to use eventually, and we'll get Ajit back in it. So he tumbles down, but then immediately gets a kill once he TP's back into lane.
That's really good of him to get the last hit as well, because that maxes his souls again. So even though he did die, it doesn't matter. He's back up to full power. At least what a Shadow Fiend will be at this point.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about the bottom lane here. Juggernaut gonna be played by Moogie again. I mean, same exact positioning from Newbee, but how does Fnatic's difference change here? Like, what's the different playstyle between an Axiom and a Abaddon?
I think it's much better for Abaddon than the. It's another kill here. Shadow Fiend really up there. Abaddon is very good at 1v1s against melee heroes pretty much, and he does have to worry a little bit about Jug spin, and Jug can trade fairly well because of his passive, but I think Ohio's gonna be pretty happy here.
Yep, getting some really good levels. 4.25 on him. Same matchup as Moogie. Neither have had to leave the lane so far, but now Moogie gonna bully him back, taking advantage of the fact that Ohio is almost fresh out of mana and doesn't have that borrowed time yet. So free farm going for our Juggernaut here, but still some grounds to make up. Our Shadow Fiend leading the charge there. Got some.
Oh, he stays really long though. They're so low.
Oh man, he's looking. Kaka gets trapped in the cogs. Kyo's gonna stick around for this. Kyo wants to fight, and Kyo will be able to find the kill. Ohio snaps up credit for that one. They don't even need the shield burst. And that PA living. She's got a Guardian Angel behind her.
The Bounty Rune loss is kind of tough because I could have gotten him back to the. Could have gotten 2 Bounty Runes with bottle charges, but instead he has to hit the base, TP back in. Either way, I think that's actually pretty good space-wise from Essence. I think.
Yeah, our Lina, I mean, getting some good space to herself. SCCC, I mean, is this Lina just going to get totally vulnerable to the dagger as PA starts to get up crazy damage? Because she's not the tankiest hero.
Yeah, but it definitely is very reliant on whether or not it gets crits, and also she'll probably need backup on the PA, because if you jump on a Lina, she's just stun you and put you in threat of dying anyway. So kind of goes both ways. Whichever team has as a hero get in will likely get to that.
Impale comes in, protecting SCCC for now. Clockwork is going to get stunned up by the Light Strike array, and Febby goes down, but Kyo able to walk back to safety. And not as bad as it could have been for Fnatic, but still not able to score the kill they were looking for.
Patience from them. Dagger into cogs.
Yep.
So Kako just can. Five, which is dangerous. 6, Abaddon can definitely.
Yeah. Moogie just going to be continuing the farm. Is this going to be the same Juggernaut build that we saw last time, going for the Sanj and Yasha rather than the Manta Diffusal, or do you think he needs the Manta now?
I'm honestly not. You could go something.
Oh,
maybe.
Oh, Kyo living with that Laguna Blade, just a sliver of health. It does go down to the 1 right click. Lina getting the most out of the end of that double damage rune, so great bit of lockdown there. PA has to go and TP back to tower once again.
That's the problem. I mean, best nuking heroes are very difficult. Stay alive through that kind of.
Bottom lane, Ohio almost gets trapped in, manages to walk himself out of the body blocks, and he's getting really close to that level 6. So the time where they can easily gank this Abaddon is drawing to an end, and well, they're going for it. Well, they've got the opportunity. Ohio going to be trying to juke around, but with the Crystal Maiden Frostbite, they've got the damage they need. So Abba falls down right after the mid PA drops, and things are starting to look good for Newbee.
That was a good trade because he ganked the healing ward. Be okay for him.
Well, he'll make it through, but.
One kind of cool thing about the SF in the safe lane, though, that due to the change in experience gain from Deny, is that SF in the safe lane is somewhat good, because he has so much plus damage that he can actually deny every single creep. Very few heroes can actually match him in that. So he's actually getting way more levels than he should normally due to the extra experience.
Down here in the bot lane, Ohio, he's angry. He hits the 6. He's going to use that borrowed time as he is just diving under tower. Nyx goes in, breaks up the fight. Now Febby with the cogs push back will secure the kill onto the Jug. Well played there. Great rotation in now. Carapace going to be giving some trouble to Ohio, who does end up going down. Is that still worthwhile?
I would say so, yeah. If you're killing the carry first and then die afterwards, I think they're going to be. If they slow down the Juggernaut, the
Illusion.
is easier to play around, I think, like magic damage.
No, you
don't.
Heroes like Juggernaut, worst case, they buy a BKB and they right click. And it's a lot easier to execute, whereas spell-based heroes, they have to land the Dable follow-ups, and they have to kind of wait for their cycles. Carries just kind of like rampage through fight. At least physical bait.
Yeah. 7 minutes in now. I mean, again, kill score looking good for Newbee right now. Net worth is slightly in their favor, but are Newbee on track to have a really good mid-game, or are there still some weaknesses that they need to take care of?
They're doing okay. I think both teams are very equal at this point. It really comes down to how they match up in the earth. Initiation-wise, Newbee has a huge advantage from Tidehunter, and that's going to be a big part of the game as it moves forward. He's got to get a blink first before that to do. Maybe the blink on Tide is the thing we're looking for Newbee, or maybe can he initiate at good angles. On Fnatic's side, they need to ideally kill somebody like at the start of the fight, or Jug. If they can do that, it's a huge advantage for them. What QO does. He's got decent last hits considering. Here's the item build. Historically, whenever he played mid PA, it's always Vlad. But with the change to lifesteal now, stacking with Deso, he might just shave off a little bit of gold and Mask of Death into a Deso after that. Here's to see what he does.
Yeah, might prioritize getting that damage up ASAP so Fnatic can find those rotations, and it looks like they're going to be making an attempt here in the mid lane, although Lina pretty keen on this, going to be walking back playing safe.
And that's one good thing about playing Lina mid. Nuke the wave, the creeps die, and you leave again. You don't get ganked space. They're going to walk right into the enemy team though.
Yep, DJ goes in, gets the lift on the Lina. They'd like to take her out. Dagger comes through, and it's not going to be a crit. SCC returns the favor, goes straight for the Laguna onto the PA's skull, and she does fall. So gank attempt from Fnatic will be thwarted as Newbee bring in the proper heroes for this. Now they're going to go, they get the Gush and the Freeze. They're going to dump the Omni Slash as well. No expense spared for that little Rubik. 2 heroes down on Fnatic, and now Newbee make a big rotation up into the top lane. Ajit going to start feeling the pressure here, and they end up losing his tower on the back of this.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to TP out of the lane, yeah, because he sees all the heroes. He knows they're going to dive him if he stays around, so he's got to go somewhere else, do something. But unfortunate there for Fnatic, but you can really see the weaknesses of PA here against a hero like Lina. And it's a lot of cases where PA mid can work against. Most of them are pretty low armor in a lot of cases. But if you don't get a crit and your allies don't initiate before the lead goes in, all it takes is a couple nukes and you're here. It's the counter to PA early game.
Down bottom, Ohio diving in is borrowed time. Frost trying to chase down Faith. They will get him with the long range raise. So Shadow Fiend keeping his net worth up. Catching up almost with the Lina at this point. So safe laner online, but meanwhile up top, SCCC and Juggernaut going to help out and take out this first tower.
Very common to see teams do the fake me thing, and this is because it's difficult to defend enemies diving you. Gotta be careful.
Oh. Yeah, he's just gonna be backing out. Fevy just strolling around, realizing what danger he was in, but for now, just gonna be some Newbee pressure into the mid lane. Fevy getting a little bit close here. He's got that Cox. He's gonna try to hook shot away, but doesn't hit a creep. Trying to buy himself some time, but the Light Strike array comes in. Another Laguna dumped out, and Kaka scores the kill with the Impale. So now this tower vulnerable as well. Big rotation from Newbee. They go, they get kills, they get top, and they get mid. Are they just on a roll here, or do Fnatic still have a good shot in this?
They still have a good shot. Very, very good for Newbee. Tower. All of it comes down to fit. He did not need to die there. He was just trying to pass. That way the tower didn't die and he felt comfortable. And then he threw the hook shot because he realized he made a terrible mistake, but then he completely whiffed the creep wave, and as a result, there he is. Completely dead with losing their... Not a good place to be.
Yeah, I mean, how important is farming space and map control for Fnatic? Can they still thrive if they're limited to, you know, just a small chunk of jungle, or do they need to spread out and farm?
I think it's okay because they can jungle fairly well, like Shadow Fiend especially. He does go for an Iron Talon. They definitely have options, but I would say that a Newbee faster farming mix can some low Juggernaut.
You can mix. Yep, Nick's going to set up that intel. And there's going to be a deep hook shot in onto the Lina. How are they going to follow this up, though? Kyo rotating in from the back of the tower. Omnislash goes in. Clockwork's going to eat it up. Eats the Laguna Blade as well, so 2 ults down. Dire, they're still up and fighting. They've still got their cores. Can they actually take this out of Baden? No borrowed time for him. He gets killed off by one more Dragon Slave. NewBee, they're getting low. There will be a Ravage going in. They isolate QO, and he can't do a goddamn thing. 3 heroes killed off, and NewBee lose nothing. NewBee there.
They had a perfect initiation. That was exactly what they needed. But Lina, with her first item purchase, was that. I think what she did is looked at the draft and said, how's the only way I die this game? It's getting cogged, hookshotted, and followed up with more disables. And as soon as she forced, the whole fight was over. It was Fnatic way out of position, past the tower. The other heroes couldn't follow up because they didn't have BKBs yet. Fight's over. And now the game is looking really tough. It kind of looks like this is going to be NewBee snowballing big way.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this PA being high risk, high reward, but not getting those crits that she desperately needs, just not raking in the kills. 0-3 currently. And it looks like she has a BKB queued up for her first item, so trying to be more survivable, but not really going to amplify the damage.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, she even got some crits in that fight. It's just, you need damage items, and mid PA has some die this many times. Definitely have issues.
Burns.
And
Alright.
the fewer kills you get, it means the slower your damage items comes out. Farm creeps, whereas Lina just needs levels, and no matter what happens, she's going to farm. Whereas the PA is on the opposite side. Kills to farm, to get items, and bad spot.
I
mean, what is Fnatic's road back in this? Is the QO BKB really going to help out, or is it just kind of a downward spiral?
The goal for it is basically that he can jump in knowing that his opponents won't be able to. He's an opening. It's also worry a little. Ravage doesn't have CM or the Lina without fear. At least disabled. I mean, if by that point if Lina has an eggs, yeah, okay, BKB's wasted. It'll give him some team fight ability, which is.
It's still a long way away. It looks like he is going to bail out, not going to go for the BKB, instead that early Deso like you talked about, but
Yeah.
not getting the Morbid Mask first. Is that lack of life still going to be?
The lifesteal is good, but ultimately HP is maybe the more. And the Abaddon is also. The other lads in the game.
Oh, hook shot in. They trap the next assassin, but there is going to be KP coming forward, and SCCC with another double damage rune. They kill off the Rubik. Kaka still alive and kicking, and now it looks like Febby going to be diving down as well. They just need one more last hit, and that's going to be a wicked 6 streak from Arlena. 7-0-3. This lane in the mid went exactly as she needed, and she's continued to score kills. She's keeping her relevance up.
Back to Mech Shadow Fiend, it's happened. Full circle here. I haven't seen this in a while, but this was a thing for a bit. Go or something to popularize just because SF needs survivability, buys the item, farm it easily, get some armor, and it should help us. But it's been a long time since I saw nothing that made it better. It's just possibly a safe lane, and it's a kind of good in that way because his opponents are very burst heavy, including Juggernaut, top all of those heroes with mech to offset that, and you survive the burst. He's got the mech, there'll be a Vlad's and an Abaddon providing heals. This could make some difference here.
Yeah, I have seen Mech Shadow Fiend a bunch. Usually when it is played safe lane, you can get away with going for that. Some of the build I've seen is going mech into the Hurricane Pike.
This'll come in handy.
But is Ajit going to have mana problems going for that early mech?
He definitely might. Gonna be a lot of arcanes, I think. Rubik will eventually buy his with the they win a team fight. Maybe Abaddon. No, Abandon's got phased. So yeah, maybe 1 arcanes. It's gonna take some careful tread swapping, basically.
Yeah, he'll have to be careful not to just spray out raises left and right and leave himself short of a mech. For now, you see Mugi feeling so safe in this dire jungle. I mean, there's not a care in the world here. He's got that ward trying to keep him safe, but even if Nick's Clockwork goes for the hookshot, Mugi can just spin and maybe turn this right back around on him. So this Juggernaut, I mean, he's starting to be a problem. Goes in and picks up the casual Yasha, not going to build up the S and Y, not going to try to go for the early Manta instead, has that Silver Edge queued up again.
Just trying to pressure the map basically and farm areas aggressively so that Fnatic can't. So Fnatic right now feels very, they have to worry Nick's spotting them out. They have to be worried about 5v5 team fights, so they kind of lost so much.
It'll be alright. And again, once Juggernaut actually gets up that Silver Edge, Phantom Assassin is so easy to kill. If he can actually get that break on her, her blur goes away and she's just food.
I think that's why Nyx also bought Solar Crest. Yeah, accuracy buff that you get, 5%. And it should be half of that is what it applies towards PA. So with Solar Crest is used on, it's like 30 evasion. Really helping with what tower's going to go down. Newbee's probably just going to like 4 or 5 man push. Take all the towers and ideally Roche advantage, which have, and then go.
I really like the choice to give the Aegis to the Lina. I think she is by far the most vulnerable. And you mentioned as soon as PA jumps her, she needs to get that stun. She could be killed, and well, she's got a second life. She'll come right back in and will be able to get her spells off no matter what.
Maybe a third, depending on Bloodstone charge. A lot to worry about. They don't want to take a fight anyways because their opponent have Aegis. This is where things get tough. Can you find your solo? I
mean, how much does Fnatic want to be sitting back and farming right now? Do they want to be smoking up and finding picks, or is farming A-okay?
They can find picks, it's the best thing they can do. Actually, finding those picks is going to be different. Split up the first attack. They're going to be the ones in trouble.
Alright, Abaddon, he's just full YOLO in here as Borrowed Time's only level 2. He's going to be distracting the entire Radiant team, but he goes down and doesn't really find anything for it. He just kind of jaunted down mid and slapped the tower once.
I think that he did that so that some Fnatic reaction. Maybe it could have been a supporter. Maybe he thought that they wouldn't be able to chain this. Ends up getting killed. They don't really profit from that other than kind of knowing where. If they can kill Febby as well as we.
Yep, they forced out forward. The impale off the mark. Febby running for the hill with the gush. Is it going to be there? They do get the gush off. Now Faith chasing after him. Attempt at the hook shot here, but he's going to be going right back into the wave. Febby gets his mana burned off, but we'll keep alive here. Not going to be going down. Meanwhile, down bottom, SCCC just soloing this tower like it's nothing. And they're going to bring Movie forward, and that's the last tier 2 on the dire side of the map. Fnatic rapidly losing control over this map.
It would have been a really nice kill to get because they're tower deny either. Oh, ganked the healing. TP's in, they're going to take a fight here. Decided to get a kill.
Yep, Febby, no hook shot, just has to chase Faith the old-fashioned way, trying to catch her out in the cogs. They get that little bit of slow with the miscoil now. Battery assault to lock down the CM. And that's a pretty heavy engage just to get the CM. Meanwhile, Lina is going to be up here soloing down QO again, getting flashbacks to game number 1 of QO dying in the safe lane over and over.
Not going to stop though. I don't really see. I mean, PA definitely can shutting people, but. And the faster, yep, instantly guard. That's the fly here. He buys a plate mail. Everything is rough here for now.
I mean, PA is such a snowball hero, and we talked about it. She got no kills in the mid lane. She's still 0-4. And it's not even like there's super squishy supports to gank. The Crystal Maiden really staying in the buddy system most of the time. It's pretty hard just to dagger and jump her without getting immediately locked down.
Mind if you're massively farm. Buybacks did work out the last game. Maybe it'll make. Though they.
Yep. Pings start coming out, Radiant. And I know what's up. Just all of a sudden, poof, 5 heroes off the map. So there's going to be a good guess of what's going on. And TP's into the shrine. It looks like they want to charge right on into this. Now, Ravage is on cooldown. They might be able to. Oh, yep, they know what's up here. Long wrap around here. I mean, QO just needs to find his first kill. He's got to get a snowball here. If he dies and doesn't take out anyone with him, Fnatic are just going to kind of roll over. They just don't have much damage to work with.
Spotted the Nyx. Nyx ditched pretty much right away. They predicted that their opponents did see them. They scanned for it. They no bad fight happened. Love to get a kill. Spotted it out.
Yeah, Newbee is still working in a pack, but it seems like Fnatic are just going to be scooting themselves out. Let's talk more about the Shadow Fiend. You said that, he ended up going for the Hurricane Pike. He's going to get the BKB. Is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough damage output for Fnatic to actually score kills? Because right now, 17-6, they're just not getting bodies on the floor.
He definitely does a lot of damage. He does ult races or provides if he can just stay alive, and that's the items. Stay alive, keep his allies alive. They should eventually.
No.
That's when you get them.
QO gonna be dumping it onto the Tidehunter, but that is probably the hardest kill in the game to get. Busting a Ravage for it with no regrets. KP feeling good about that. Just gonna go Guardian Greaves himself after, and a little pat on the back there. So unfortunately, PA now 0-5. What do you think about that jump on the Tide? Even if Tide was solo, that's still not an easy kill for PA.
Yeah, there's actually no way. It might have been a inspiration thing. Tide there was not going to happen. That's for cast anchors. Less damage.
Kaka potentially going to get jumped here. Kill the next assassin would be sweet there. Going to go for the Carapace, and Borrowed Time popped already from Ohio. Maybe a little bit premature. And there is nothing to cancel that TP except the hook shot, which flies right on through. Febby just a tiny bit late with that.
Blocked by creep.
Go.
Not the best. Map control. Basically control all of Fnatic's jungle. Fnatic is pretty safe place for them to get creeps, but very few can.
Man, everyone on Fnatic's slowly but surely starving. Shadow Fiend, really the only one with a firm grasp on that net worth chart. And it's him versus the world, because this PA just can't pull her weight. She's sitting there, significantly lower net worth than the Tidehunter, who's just been sitting back, scoring some ancients, and he's going for a blink next, so those blink Ravages going to be coming out as high ground pressure comes forward. Top lane, Omni Slash comes in. Nice effort, Faith. Really good way to cheer on your teammates as Moogie finishes him off.
6 deaths now.
Invisibility.
They really needed the lane. If PA gets ahead against Alina, it has so many other.
This'll come in handy.
Incoming!
Yeah, not one of those heroes that sits back and works really hard and farms up and then charges at you at 50 minutes with no kills but still gets a full wipe. She just needs to snowball and kills, and you called it out. High risk, high reward, and this game, PA fizzles. The good news is Fnatic, they have a little wiggle room. They are a game up in this series. It's a best of 3, but you don't want to get tilted like this. Yep, get stunned up. We're going to wait out the Borrowed Time. There's going to be a hook shot in onto the next assassin, but again, a 4-staff out. That 4-staff has paid for itself 10 times over. Kyo jumps in and finds a kill on the Lina. Finally, that's going to be 1,000 gold straight to her. All right, PA, you just got to get like 3 or 4 more of those and you're good.
I think what happened there was I'm pretty sure the blade mail reflected the liquid blade is what happened. And instantly the PA jumped in. And I think the curious part is that Lina purchased staff there instead of grabbing the play mail. That's a terrible idea in this. If you're against a PA and a Shadow Fiend and they're losing the game, I think you just get your armor up as you don't need more bonus damage, more mana. He goes down as a result, doesn't suicide in time, and also Kyo's got some comeback. Not a ton, but it's a little.
It's something to grab onto. It's not just a drop-dead PA instantly in these fights. And now finally we'll go in for the BKB. So a little more survivability for her. Still, again, a long way to go until Fnatic are back in this. You look at the net worth and it's just been a slow, steady slide in Newbee's favor, but it stopped accelerating. Newbee running out of tier 2 towers, running out of, easy objectives to get. Their next hurdle is going to be high ground, and this next Roche will make it a lot easier. Still about 2 minutes on that, though.
Base, look for more. Ohio's no blink on that door. But he's got his BKB finished.
Yep, so next fight gonna have Shadow Fiend BKB up and Phantom Assassin getting close there as well. Just needs a couple more minutes of farm, a couple more camps, and I mean this next fight, if Shadow Fiend and QO are able to go and actually get the initiation they want and be magic immune the entire time, Newbee might bite off more than they can chew, and it could be a full wipe for Fnatic.
It's possible, but the Shiva's guard up for Lean and not the easy kill. Maybe CM is Stallion.
A little ring around the rosy here. Everyone just doing a little loop-de-loop, so now Radiant,
So bad for Fnatic.
they're on the high ground. KT is smoking the Poppy, goes in for the immediate Ravage. Oh, it's everything they need. Febby hook shots up to the high ground, but gonna eat an Omni Slash on the way. QO goes in and does blow up the Crystal Maiden. It's a nice easy kill for her, but Shadow Fiend's dead without buyback. QO still going in onto SCCC, but now she's tanky. You talk that up, and Light Strike Array off the mark. KT surrounded. There's a nice impale though. Kaka scores everything he needs. The Dragon Slave comes in. The damage is unreal. DJ going to be going down to Blade Fury. Now Ohio just going to be sitting back. The Blade Mail going forward. PA does get killed off. It's looking grim here. Buyback from the Clockwork. Oh no. Oh no. Abaddon goes down as well. That's a full wipe. And there are buybacks committed from that Clockwork. That's a 6-hero wipe. They lose the Crystal Maiden for it. And now the Roshan is there for the taking.
Just the worst possible case for a fight angle for Fnatic there. They're on the dire side, they didn't expect it. And had the high ground advantage. Hyde sees him first, he gets a perfect Ravage off to stun everybody at the start of the fight. And that was Shadow Fiend dying right at the beginning. He didn't get his BKB off in time. With SF dead, we don't see his ultimate to reduce damage, we don't see it to slow people. Like, Fnatic did a pretty good job almost taking a good fight win there by killing SCCC. But it didn't work, and everybody got ultra wipe. Maybe if they lose one more fight like that, game's 100%, but it's looking very close to over.
Yeah, you can see there the acceleration we talked about. It's back up and roaring. This Rax is going to be very difficult to defend. Adjit just has to hurricane himself out of danger there. Now, Newbee just continues to go onto the towers. Tier 3s have been breached. QO, he's hunting. Ohio's going to be going in, gets impaled up. Does have to borrow time, but that's going to be burned down. Hookshot off the mark. Febby goes on to QO and can't reinitiate on the enemy team. Now, Ohio, they know his ult's down. BKB, out by the Shadow Fiend. 10-second BKB, not doing a whole lot, just keeps him alive for now, but he's not able to take these fights. Crystal Maiden gonna get off a fantastic ult, and they will kill off PA. She's dead for 50 seconds with no buyback. It's looking like this potentially could be GG. Now DJ locked down as well. Adjit, the lone survivor, slowed down by the gust. He's just gonna be body blocked in, and Omni Slash to finish the job. I wouldn't be surprised to see a GG come out right now. Fnatic, they dropped game 2, and we are going to a game number 3. Both of these teams' tournament lives on the line. Grand finals. Gonna be the reward here.
It was just a very, very one-sided game from the 10-minute mark and on. So, games in a row basically died a lot in his lane. That game was a lot harder. The Legion one, but I mean, the only that really gave me some hope. That one kill with the gold